In this video, we're going to replace the oil filter on this 2012 Mitsubishi Outlander. So we have an oil filter to change on this 2012 Mitsubishi Outlander. I'm going to check the oil first, just to see where it's at, see what it looks like before. Just going to pull that dipstick, take a look at what we have to start. Looks pretty dark. So we're going to go ahead, open the engine oil cap, raise it up, start draining the oil, and go ahead and replace the filter. We're going to go ahead and drain the oil with a 17mm socket right here in the oil pan. Make sure you have some kind of collection bucket for your oil to drain into underneath. Just want to go ahead and crack that bolt loose. Now that that's drained, we're going to go ahead, put our drain screw plug back in. Got to tighten that back down. We can just tighten down our oil drain plug to 29 foot-pounds torque. We're going to go ahead and remove our oil filter. We're going to use some oil filter wrench. If you don't have an oil filter wrench, sometimes you can get on it by hand and spin it. Sometimes you need a special wrench for it. This one happens to turn okay with the wrench. Make sure your spill collection drain pan is down. There will be some oil left over in the filter. Just be aware of that. We're going to pull back this plastic shield here. You may have to remove this shield to get access. There may be another shield. Our vehicle didn't come with one. So with what we have here, we're just going to pull it back and reach up in there and remove our oil filter. So typically you want some oil in your oil filter before you place it back in the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and prime this oil filter with some oil. But because our oil filter goes on horizontally, you do not want this totally filled. If it did screw on vertically, then you can fill it. So as long as we can hold it horizontally like this, without oil spilling out, we're as full as we can be to install into the vehicle. So now we're going to go ahead and pull back this shield a little. With this hand, we're going to thread the new filter onto the neck. I'm going to tighten it down finger tight and use our wrench and just give it a quarter turn. You don't need these to be on extremely tight. We also went ahead and put just a little bit of oil around the gasket of the oil filter. Just help it seat. So now that our oil filter is in the vehicle and the oil's been drained, we have now gotten to the top of the vehicle. I'm going to pull the dipstick and just make sure it's clean and there's no old oil residue on it. Make sure all the oil is out of the system. Do that a couple of times. Now, when you put your oil, your new oil in, you'll be able to see clearly where you're at and how much more you need to add. We can go ahead and start adding our new oil now. So manufacturer's recommendations on this 2012 Mitsubishi Outlander is 5W20, 4.5 quarts. Because we opened 1 quart to prime our oil filter, we're going to go ahead and start entering new quarts. We're going to go ahead and use a funnel. So we'll go ahead and put in our last half quart. And then we'll let it settle for a few, and we will check the oil level on the dipstick a couple of times, because as that oil's going in, the air is bubbling out of any open areas, so it's bubbling up onto the dipstick, giving you a higher and odd level of oil on your dipstick. We can take a look here and see what I'm talking about. So as it shows now, we're way overfilled, and that's just because the oil is trying to come up that dipstick. So we'll let that all settle, and we'll check it again in a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and clean our oil cap, and just check it for any cracks, any O-rings, any gaskets that are on it. Make sure they're in good condition. This one seems pretty good. We're just going to clean up some of that old oil and dirt out of the threads and screw that back down. So now we're going to go ahead and check our oil level. Sometimes you're going to have to do this 2 or 3 times to get a clean reading. We've let it settle for a few minutes. We have nice clean oil in there. We're at the mark we need to be at. So we're full, not over full, nice clean oil.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.